Okay, we are back.
And it should be fine now.
Thank you for
we're back.
bearing with us. That was a nice commercial.
Yeah, whatever the hell that was. That was enjoyable.
Wow, that is great. That is
Okay,
great.
Asset DJ says better. Thank you.
Thank
What's up? All right, we got a whole list of people. Let me go down. Hello, Saibuki, DS Photo Guy, The Bean, Ellen Macon, Plastic Canvas. Acid DJ is with us today. Here for Forever, Funky Dillo, Manny, Michelle Stacy, Obama's Cat. Steven is back. Too Much, Volpa Bite 2, Fancy Fanny, and Vapes versus Cards.
Oh,
We got a
Vapes
shitload
guy.
of watches today.
How about that? Vapes is coming in. How about that?
And we're number one. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank
you,
you
guys.
Much. Thank you very much. Thank you for chiming
Thanks for
in.
your support.
Yes. Speaking of which, I had another story, similar story to this, I guess kind of linked. Said that Central City AIDS Network is going to close in November.
Oh.
Says the Central City AIDS Network may be shutting down in October after not applying for funding on time. Says the nonprofit organization provides housing services for people suffering from HIV or AIDS in 23 counties across Middle Georgia, and as many as 300 people may not have a place to live in the next few months, including Sam Green.
Wow.
Now, Mr. Green has been living in the Rainbow Center for nearly 3 years. He has been
Rainbow Center.
Yeah, he's been. He's been HIV positive since 1996, and he credits the Rainbow Center for changing his life for the better. He said that all the staff has done a lot for me, including working with my doctor. He says, however, he and more than 30 people who live in the former hotel off Ingleside Drive were told the Rainbow Center, along with other facilities in the organization, will shut down in a few months.
Okay, that was Dr. Katner is the one that actually is involved in this and was part of all of this AIDS Center stuff. So obviously something's going on between Dr. Katner and this place. Dr. Katner is my doctor.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Says the organization failed to submit paperwork on time for the HOPWA funding, HOPWA, HOPWA, which is Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS. Failing to file the grant jeopardizes roughly 90% of the network's funding. It says, Michael Leon, the executive director, says, unless we get some white knight in shining armor to come in and drop some funds in our coffers, we're done. It says Leon said that he's written to the governor's office and the Department of Community Affairs asking for an extension to the deadline. He also said that the DCA declined and he hasn't received a reply from the governor's office as of yet. Says now desperate for help. He worries about the people under the organization's care.
Yeah, there's about, I would say, it's like an old hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And
kind of like the Dempsey, too.
No, it was much smaller. It used to be a Holiday Inn or some shit.
Yeah.
It used to be one of those a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an old place, probably in the 70s. It was built. And it's a little, like a hotel. You go in and there's, rooms.
Yeah.
And in those rooms are a lot of people with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get in when I first got here to be like the minister of that place.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, they were slogging around. I mean, and they used to have meetings and everything, and the people themselves used to go up and talk about their lives and all that.
Right.
But a lot of it was like just people talking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't really dealing with the problem, and I felt that, you know what, I think that emotionally and spiritually you guys are way off.
Okay.
And so for whatever reason, I used to go to the meetings to watch how they interacted, and there just wasn't really a real program or whatever you want to call it, anything Christian based or anything. It was just kind of democracy, whatever.
I was just reading, is Johnny Fambro still, I guess, part of it? Or Ellen Macon was said that Johnny Fambro started it.
Johnny Fambro started it, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But they were talking, but the thing is that Mr. Leon, Michael Leon, said that the organization can apply for HOPWA funding again next year, but that's 12 months away, unfortunately. 12 months without the services. Under the current grant, the organization said it can operate until October, which is basically for 3 more months.
Right. Well, Ellen Macon says it's smaller than that. See, all it is a bed and bath. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that is.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like a little mini hotel, you know, and it's laid out like this, like a whatever ranch. It's kind of like a Holiday Inn, you know, just room and balcony. Some of them. All right, so they're going out of business. I guess a Hope Center is going to pick up the slack.
Hopefully they do.
And then they'll do this, you know, that's right near, the Hope Center is right near where the abandoned Home Depot used to be.
Yeah, okay.
You know where that is, on Eisenhower all the way down?
Where it used to, near Westgate?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old Home Depot building. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Westgate Mall used to be a strip mall.
Yeah, where Lolo's is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lolo's.
You don't know about the Rainbow Center? Were you just talking about the Rainbow Center closing?
Yes.
That's on Ingleside.
Yo, excuse me.
Yeah, on
Ingleside.
Ingleside.
I'm sorry, Ingleside.
Yeah, they're closing up.
It's an old apartment complex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of an old hotel,
We used
no?
to do networking there when I worked
Yeah.
at the...
So they're closing up. All right,
Yeah.
what else?
I got one more story for the end of the hour. It says, making unemployment rate rises in May.
Yeah.
It's from
I
Celeste
thought
Smith.
so.
So the Georgia Department of Labor says making unemployment rate increased to 9.0% in May, up 0.9 of a percentage point from 8.1% in April. The rate was 9.4% in May a year ago.
Yeah.
The Labor Department says the rate increased primarily because of an increase of layoffs and the seasonal influx of job seekers into the workforce, the labor force, as new graduates began searching for work. The number of layoffs represented by new claims for unemployment insurance benefits rose by 356 or 34% to 1,404 in May from 1,048 in April. The increases came mostly in construction, accommodations, and food services, manufacturing, educational services, and healthcare and social assistance.
Yeah.
So far, Metro Athens had the lowest area jobless rate of 6.2%, where the heart of Georgia, Altamaha region, had the highest at 11.5% within the state.
What area is that again?
Well, the heart of Georgia, I guess Central Georgia and Altamaha region, I guess that's Central Georgia.
Going towards Savannah,
Yeah,
I guess.
11.5. Wow.
Okay, well, unemployment is up. Well, you know, you had the closure of what? You had the closure of Dolce Vita. As much as that's only 4 or 5 people, it's still a big hit for downtown Macon. And there's still a lot of construction going on, so hopefully that'll turn around.
Right.
But if you notice, even on the days that we were out,
Yes.
it was kind of dead. It's always like people aren't really going downtown that much. I mean, there isn't much to do. Think about it.
That's true.
Except on Fridays.
They need a big company here, not just a little restaurant with 3 or 4
Right.
people. Like my company, we had 300 people. Brown and Williamson had all those people, you know.
Exactly.
They are not, all these businesses are passing up Macon because of the crime and just, it's just bad. And they're not doing, city leaders aren't doing anything about it to make it any better. And they deserve what they get.
Well, hopefully all these ideas with dealing with the riverfront that they're fixing up and they're putting in new stores and all that, I hope that with that they bring some of the people from the other places. Because the whole idea is tourism. We need more tourism. You know, and they might as well stop here. They're on their way to Savannah. People that are on their way to Florida, they could stop off in Macon and stay a few days. Very transient, but they could do it.
Yeah, Rim Jumper says downtown areas are overrated and they're not even necessary. It says Here Forever said, here they put the scare in people not to spend, the government trying to cause recession. Says fear will do that. Yeah.
The thing is, okay, we're going on break. That's the next thing.
Yeah. It's 9:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia.
And it's bright out.
Yes, it's definitely bright
The
out.
sun is up.
Yes, yeah, we can see
Got
that.
a bit of a haze out
It's
there.
really sunny right now. It's 75 degrees right now. It's sunny, but there may be some chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms here. It's going on 9:02 a.m. You're watching the Morning Roast live from the Nut House.
Stay with us. We got
This
lots
first
more to
video,
go.
I need to prep you all. It's very, very tragic and very, very shocking. It happened the other day.
Yeah.
I'll play the video.
You can comment on it. if you
Lots
feel
of plot for that. Now, DeKalb police released photos of a man who they say shot a 2-year-old outside of a grocery store. Now the search is on for the suspect, and Fox 5's Angelique Proctor joins us live from DeKalb County with the latest. Angelique?
Good afternoon, Buck. Just left a news conference minutes ago where the chief of police says they are desperately looking for this man who shot a 2-year-old child. Lots of people outraged by this crime. In fact, the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, put up $5,000. Crime Stoppers has put up $2,000. Now, here is the picture of the person that they say shot this 2-year-old. He is described as being about 6 feet, slim build, in his early 20s. Police say he is armed and extremely dangerous. Now, this happened yesterday outside of the Kroger on Memorial Drive at North Harrison. Take a listen at what the chief had to say.
A 2-year-old child was shot by this individual. And there is nothing more precious than the life of a child. And we're going to do everything that we can in this department, day and night, and we're going to be unrelentless about it. We're going to find who did this.
Now, the chief said the one thing that he is clear on is that somebody will recognize this man. They got these pictures from surveillance video over at the Kroger. They believe somebody can help them in this. As for the child's condition, we are told that the little boy is in stable condition at Egleston and is doing pretty good. Reporting live in DeKalb County, Angelique Proctor, Fox 5 News.
Certainly good news there, Angelique. Thank you. Now, a baby ended up in the hospital after she...
Edward Snowden is a hero for exposing the NSA spying.
You mean he is a hero for exposing one of the ways America tries to catch terrorists?
But they were listening in on our phone conversation.
Actually, they were tracing your phone calls to see if your pattern fit that of a terrorist's. So you would only worry if you had a cousin in Yemen.
Edward is a true patriot who acted like a hero.
So, heroes now run off to Hong Kong and give front page interviews and no doubt write a book. What a great man.
You do not want Big Brother looking after you.
Why? They can watch me all they want. I am doing nothing illegal. What did you think of the Boston bombing?
That was horrible. If only the FBI would have connected the dots.
So, you want it both ways.
Exactly.
Just the government, we just monitor people's phone calls.
Can you get away from me?
Hey, don't run from the NSA. We just monitor people's phone calls. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead. Oh, no, we got to monitor conversations. The government, and the secret's out, we don't even bother hiding anymore. For your own safety. Yeah, well, we've been doing that for years, sir. We have been asking anybody for over 20 years. We've been videotaping. No, you're fine. No, I'm sorry. Just government agent. Come find out Obama's not running the country. Chuck Norris, Kung Fu grip, the karate guy, Chuck Norris. Yeah. Chuck Norris. Can you hear that? Just with the government, we do this periodically. It's just random people. Nothing against you. Sorry. Which way are you going? This way? All right, my bad. Just checking your email out from the government. We do this time to time.
I know we want y'all to drop off now. How you know we want y'all to do this drop off?
Oh, we never got permission to listen to anybody. We just did it.
It's the government.
It's the government.
The government does a lot of stuff. You don't stick it.
I'll tell you what you do.
What's that?
Take him right there. picking up these guys up and get the hell away from me.
I'm a government official, sir. We do not stick microphones on our...
You don't do that to me.
That's about what it is. They claim the NSA is not really listening to us. They're listening for our patterns to see if... But they haven't stopped any terrorist attacks with it, so...
So that guy was walking around with a boom mic?
It was a joke.
As a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're listening to you.
See how people were freaking out?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you never know. I mean, somebody comes up to you on the street and says something. I mean, you know, it's like, you don't know if they're for real or not. Sometimes.
It doesn't matter. It went viral now. It's
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely
they
viral
did a
now.
film about it.
It's very true. Well, we are back into the second hour of the Morning Roast live from the Nut House in adjacent downtown Middle Georgia. You're with Irv, DB, and Ed right here.
There we go.
It's 9:08
I like
a.m.
that.
Due to interference, this comment has been deleted from Facebook.
Now, there was a link I sent yesterday, you guys, that it was deleted. Somebody put up a hate page about Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
You know, good that he's dead and all this stuff. They finally removed it.
Thank goodness. I mean, because even if the people actually thought that he actually confronted Zimmerman, which really doesn't make sense, because usually people who are unarmed, or especially those who go to just coming from a store, don't usually pick fights with somebody, especially someone who wants to lure them in their car. But
Right.
that's just,
And we're talking about Trayvon. That whole thing with that witness,
yes.
everybody is hitting on the idea that he said cracker. Now, let me just say this.
Yeah, the female.
These folks are, she's from, she does Creole, so she's Haitian, all right? In that community, if you guys know better, this is the way they talk. They're from Haiti. They have their own, it's just like the Jamaicans. They have their own culture, and they use certain words, you know, that obviously they don't mean anything. And like the N-word here in America.
Yes.
And the reason for that is because the N-word was used much more aggressively to demonize and humiliate people than the word cracker. Because as I'm told, the term cracker on Facebook comes from the cattle ranches.
Yeah, cracking the whip.
Right, cracking the whip.
Yeah.
But, in fact, since slaves were cattle at one time.
Yeah, chattel slavery, human cattle.
It developed into that.
Yeah,
it went from, it's kind of wordsmith, you know? Where did it derive from? Where did it come from? Well, it came from that. It came from just a cattle rancher. But, remember, slaves were known as chattel then.
Yes.
They were chattel. Right?
Exactly.
So that sounds like cattle to me, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, it's basically cross chattel is basically human cattle.
Right.
Your livestock, I guess.
Human livestock.
Yes.
So anyway, that's where that comes from. So now they're trying to make it look like racist, that he was a little racist kid. And that he had ideas about white people. To try to boil up justification for his death.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how low people go.
Well, no, yeah, but even still, but they don't explain. Well, Zimmerman also used a racial term too about him. It says those N-words are just all over the place.
Rim Jabba says no, that's wrong. In the South, the N-word is a synonym for black person. There is no malice behind it.
If there was no malice behind it, they wouldn't been property. Point blank. Right. Okay, so let's
he says cracker
I might have
is
been born
indeed
that
a
night,
racist
but not
slur.
last night. Come on, you 500 years, you know.
You notice that obviously
compared to the N-word, really, Rim? Are you really?
Obviously, Rim is a white guy because I'll tell you why. He says cracker. He says that it's that there's no malice behind the N-word, but then he comes back and says cracker is indeed a racial slur. Hello.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. How many white?
You can't have it both ways.
You can't have both ways. I mean, how can you say that the word cracker, that the C word is is a racial slur, but the N-word isn't. That's ridiculous. I mean, there's thousands, tens of thousands of black folks that were called the N-word while they were being lynched. I don't know that many white folks who were called the C-word that were being lynched by the Klan. I don't know. I've yet to know one.
DS Photo Guy says Trayvon's girlfriend was a hell of a shanky. Am I lying? Well, here's the thing. First of all, DS, she wasn't his girlfriend. She was just a friend who happened to be a girl.
I got the video.
You have the video?
Roll that video.
So when you say it's a racial event, what did he tell you that made you think it was a racial event?
Somebody was watching him, and then he described the person that was watching him and following him, and that was kind of strange. That a person keep watching you and following you.
So he said,
like he being stalked. Like he's being stalked from that person.
What makes that racial?
That wouldn't make that racial. It was made that racial.
What's one thing about what Trayvon Martin told you that made you think this was racial?
Describing the person.
Pardon me?
Describing the person.
I just didn't.
Describing the person that was watching him and following him.
I see. Describing the person is what made you think it was racial?
Yes.
And that's because he described him as a creepy-ass cracker?
Yes.
So it was racial, but it was because Trayvon Martin put race in this.
No.
You don't think that's a racial comment?
No.
You don't think that creepy-ass cracker is a racial comment?
No.
Yeah.
Well, any white person that's from the South.
Yeah, white
that's a
person
racist
Right.
slur.
Yeah, of course it is. And, we're not saying that it's not.
We're not
But
saying
what we're
it's not.
saying that there are people who have said to me, because I was saying cracker is wrong and this and that on Facebook, and they were saying to me, oh, we're not offended because first of all, that word did not come from, as a racial term or a negative term. That came from the cattle ranchers in Tennessee. And that's what they said to me. And I'm going, wait a minute, no, it's wrong to use that word. But you have those that would argue differently. It's not a big deal. It's just a word. That's what I got bombarded with on Facebook. Trying to, show their education as, it was still, what do you call it? It was still in a condescending way.
Yeah.
But
demeaning way.
They were condescending about it, but they were, in fact, telling the truth. Right?
Yeah. I mean,
it did not come from the term that, it did not derive from that. Just like those that believe that the N-word, that goes back to the other guy who said, the N-word didn't start out to be such a negative term, possibly, but it's still, it used to be Negro.
Yes.
Right?
Well, yeah.
Or Nubian.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true, but the thing is, if you have
then it turned into this.
Yeah, it turned into because let's be honest. Would you actually have respect to somebody that you own? I mean, like say, like you own a laptop, or you say, or you own a PlayStation, or an Xbox 360 or something. You wouldn't have that much respect. You wouldn't care what that Xbox thinks, or what that laptop thinks, or reasons if it had feelings or emotions or something.
Well, I mean, but you would care about what it gives you. I mean, it makes you crazy. I think those video games are horrible. They only make people angry and justifying their own thinking that it's good to have a gun and blow everybody up.
Yeah.
I mean, they even have video games now where you shoot a guy and throw him in a dumpster. So help me God.
Well, yeah. Well, they also have games with zombies too.
Yeah, and they have a rape one too.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto.
I mean, come on. Yeah. So, having an Xbox only shows your true character,
Yeah,
maybe.
Michelle Sticks says, I live in the South for 20 years and it has malice. LOL. And DS Photo Guy, Trayvon's girlfriend is hella skinky. Am I like, well, well, I mean, I don't think he actually dated her. I think it was just a female friend of his that he know of. But I did remember, according to the, I mean, a lot of people were talking about did she help or hurt the prosecution because of the flawed stuff about lying that she went to see him at the hospital but didn't go to the funeral and stuff. But I mean, you don't want to go.
Well, but you knew she was lying, and she admitted she was lying. She's a young girl,
she's 19.
Kid.
Yeah.
It only shows, it only shows. It showed true character. I mean, look, first of all, she's a kid. She's in her 20s.
She's
not
19.
even that.
She's
19.
19.
She's 19 years old.
She's still in her teens. Though.
Now let's take somewhat of the chatters are writing, because they're writing a lot about this. I want to read Rim Jabba. He said, during Reconstruction, there was little centralization, and a lot of the crimes were dealt with by mob justice. That is true. That affects both blacks and whites. And then Michelle Stacy said, cracker is a word used by slaves because their slave owners would crack the whip on them, and they would say, here come the cracker again. Okay? That's it. But remember, it derived originally from that Texas idea, I guess. Who knows? And it morphed into that. Or maybe it morphed into the other. Who knows? But it sounds to me that the word cracker came from cattle ranches. Right?
Cattle ranchers, which also
they used to like to give themselves names,
and also slave overseers who were in charge,
cowboys,
who had to gather the human livestock.
Well, of course, I mean, and it was one of the same words, but I think it morphed from that. It morphed from the idea of the cattle ranch. Somebody, Anyway, they yes, you're right. It became a word that was used a lot in slavery. During the slave, and it's still used today.
What, at 19, you didn't know difference in truth and lie? I knew the difference between right and wrong. The thing is, though, the defense attorney who's defending Zimmerman is basically trying to trip this woman, Rachel, her I don't know her last name, on something that, well, you're basically saying, well, if you lied to say that the C word is not a racial slur, then she probably might lie about something else that maybe Zimmerman was attacked by Trayvon Martin, which people seem to forget. If you're in a car, how would someone gonna confront somebody who's in a car, especially someone who is armed? And then and plus, why would someone want to confront somebody who's just coming out of a store with Skittles and a soda can of iced tea? It doesn't add up, people. I'm just saying.
Well, now remember, once again, this is all stereotypical going on in Zimmerman's head.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, let's not forget, he did some racial slurs, too. Not to mention, he also said, black guy with a hoodie, he's not wearing a tuxedo.
Right.
So, hey, he must be a criminal.
And obviously, he was the aggressor, as opposed to how they're putting it now, that Trayvon ran back at him and after him, and he jumped him. And when, in fact, what really most likely happened was this guy creeped him out. He said it.
Of course he creeped him out. Yeah,
you creeped him out.
You're 17 years old.
And then the girl told him it may be a rapist. I mean, this kid was probably freaking out. He's only 17 years old. And,
because people kidnap,
seen a lot of shit in his life.
Yeah, people kidnap children. That's how children and teens get kidnapped. But whether they use them by force to pretend they're a police officer, hey, get in the car, and then they just molest them and you never see them again. You have their face on a milk carton or whatnot, or if they were younger, say, hey, I got some candy, I got a Game Boy, I got a PlayStation. You want to come inside, get in the car, and then click. You never see those children again. I mean, I don't know. People seem to forget that. Yeah, this was a 17-year-old kid, especially a 17-year-old black kid, and especially what happened. I'm quite sure that he knew about the Atlanta child murders that happened 30 years ago. So you think that's not going to happen in Florida like they did in Atlanta, Georgia, 30 some odd years ago?
Yeah.
People seem to forget. I don't know why they haven't had the charge of basically attempted abduction, because the man, that was basically what he thought of. Even if he was trying to detain him, when you're trying to lure or detain or coerce a teen into your car and you don't have a badge, that's abduction by force. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I believe that, of course, he had so he can definitely force that kid to go in if the kid had refused, which he probably did, because he never wound up in the car. But, once again, they're stigmatizing, because here's what happened. The kid was hanging out by the mailboxes to shelter himself from the rain. with his hoodie up. And so right away, what do you think? This guy is hanging out by the mailbox. He's going to steal the mailboxes, or what? What's going on over here?
Yeah.
That's kind of real life.
Yes.
So Zimmerman was like, okay, in his mind, through his lenses, he thought immediately upon seeing this guy that he was a bad guy thug.
Mm-hmm.
That's what ran through his head. That's the reason why he went after him. That's the reason why he approached him in a creepy way.
Yes.
And then Trayvon was freaking out, so he was starting to look guilty. He was starting to look kind of like, why are you running away from me if you're not doing anything? But in Trayvon's mind, being a 17-year-old, he was freaking out, saying this guy is creepy.
Yes.
He's
driving a sedan.
And the girl then tells him, oh, maybe he's a rapist.
He may be a rapist because you're slowly driving a car, creeping behind a single individual, and you don't have a badge, and there are no blue lights on top of you. I mean, what is a teenager supposed to expect? Hey, you get in my car. You're supposed to say, okay, really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's how kids and teenagers. I guess in Zimmerman's mind, hey, it's okay to detain a black person. Hey, they did it in Amistad 400 years ago. Maybe we can do it again.
Yeah,
it's a sedan.
Rim Johnny says he was a guest in that neighborhood and not a resident. That's true. Mm-hmm. But, and again, he seemed, I guess, to this guy, Zimmerman, as a perfect stranger hanging around. And yes, they had other issues before with robberies in the hood and in the neighborhood and other stuff. And so maybe he was just a little bit too aggressive. But the way he approached the kid, he was kind of sneaky. I mean, I know with me and my big mouth, I would have said, hey, kid, what are you doing around here? From a distance.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he had to go right up to him. So he wanted to apprehend him, or he wanted to do something to this kid.
I mean,
because I would have yelled it out from the truck. Yo, what are you doing around here? Who are you? And let him yell back.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Didn't he see the food, the snacks that he had in his hand? I mean, he had Skittles and that. I mean, those are not the tools of a break-in. Yeah, if he had a crowbar in his hand, I can understand that. But he had snacks just coming from a convenience store.
He didn't know that. I mean, this kid, the other guy didn't know that. Zimmerman. Here's the thing. The mindset was from the beginning that Zimmerman was, he was new to the job. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because now, of course, that whole area complex, the management of that whole subdivision is hands off. They're like, we didn't order him around. No, he started it on his own.
Yeah.
And blah, 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 blah. And so he was a guy who was trying so hard to be good at his job that he overdid it. He was overzealous, so to speak. And it's proven by the fact that, as Manny says, Zimmerman was ordered by the dispatch to stand down. Officers were on the way. He's done. Case closed. Or case closed, he's done. In other words, he was the aggressor.
Mm-hmm.
Not Trayvon. Mm-hmm. Trayvon was trying to get the hell away from this guy. And,
he's not. Trayvon may.
The problem
it's
came
not.
to
It's
him.
not a may have been a thug. Nothing. I mean, I'm sorry. I really take offense to that. I mean, basically, think if I basically in order to after the sun goes down, I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, he may have been a thug. So if I wear something like this at a grocery store or a Walgreens to get maybe some jalapeno potato chips or someplace like that, I should be followed by in a freaking store. So, no, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
it.
Like, so in other words, I have to either, unless I'm walking, I have to walk to a freaking store either butt naked or in a freaking tuxedo, just in case no one don't think, I'm packing something or to rob it or something. I mean, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
Well, Fancy Fanny says, I'm going to read yours as well, Jim Robber.
Yes. If he had a crowbar in his pocket, I could see
had he listened to the police, no one would be dead and no one would be on trial. He was looking for trouble and the kid is dead. That's true. Mm-hmm. Also, he was the aggressor. Remember, he was the aggressor. He was the one going after this kid. This kid wasn't looking for him. He wasn't interested. He just wanted to get his ass home out of the rain.
Yeah.
Rim Jabba, he said he was authorized to patrol his neighborhood due to this spike in crime. He was authorized somewhat by the Neighborhood Watch Association, which has no relation to that subdivision as far as the subdivision is concerned.
He was self-proclaimed. He
was
he
like
did that
your
on
own
his
entity.
own.
It's like me starting a ministry in the middle of, let's say, if I would have went to a Rainbow Center, who's now closing down, and I would have provided services to that place. In a sense, I'm still like a subcontractor. I'm not really part of that. So, and according to them, he was not authorized. She said, oh no, he just was doing it on his own. Very zealous to become this police guy inside the subdivision, where he carried a gun to walk his dog in the neighborhood, and he has a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
So, come on. Let's be for real here, folks. Let's look at his mindset. Zimmerman's mindset was to be aggressive. It was to be aggressive towards a teen kid who was in a neighborhood that he didn't know, somewhat scared to death after that girl told him in his ear, could be a rapist, put that shit thought in his head. And as he described him, a creepy cracker. Let's go back to that point, the cracker point that they accuse him of being a racist for. When I lived in New York, we had a big Jamaican influx and Haitian influx in our neighborhood. They were using language that I used to find offensive, like blood clot and other stuff. And the only reason why I knew that was a bad word, but it was because they told me. And yet, I didn't know that the word blood clot meant something bad, like a curse word in the Jamaican language. I didn't know. And so language has its own history, and language has its own reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So the word N-word, the history of the N-word was that it was used towards slaves while they were beating them with whips, while they were hanging them on a tree, while they were burning their houses and burning crosses on their lawns.
I mean,
while they were going to work every day, sweating their ass off in these cotton fields without water or food and chat.
I mean, when someone's hanging you, when you give that is, come on, that is not a term of affection. I remember. Not to go up there, but I remember I was working at the library, and there was this white female that I was working with. And I always say hello to her, how you doing? And then for some reason she had like this sad look in her eyes or something like that, like she just got fired or something. And it was just I had a lunch break or something like that, and she wanted to talk to me, and she was just something that was just bothering her.
Right.
And she was telling me that that her brother-in-law, basically is a black guy, and I guess she reminded me of him, and her brother-in-law married her sister, and she was basically saying that while they were dating each other and stuff, her grandmother was extremely bigoted, bigoted as can be, and for some strange reason, she wanted to say something because her grandmother, I guess before she died, she basically. She died after they got married, after her sister and her black brother-in-law got married. I guess they made amends, sort of to each other. And the old lady says to the guy,
"Baby, I just want to say to you, you the sweetest nigga I ever known."
And I know I never met the guy, I never seen the guy, but I could just picture in his head he was trying to say,
yeah, how do you handle that?
Thank you?
Well,
and she was on her deathbed.
Maybe he has to know her heart too. Maybe she really felt love him, she didn't know another word.
Yeah.
See, now the word isn't. What do you think? Again, it's where the heart of where that word comes from, and the heart that's behind it. Right?
Right.
Maybe that's all she knew.
Yeah, that's true. Because obviously
it was used at that time.
Yeah, it was used at that time, and at that time you didn't. That's all. If that's the only term that you knew, That's what you used at the time.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
she needs to get ahead of her time. Is she dead by now?
well, yeah, she's dead now. She's dead. I'm quite sure he wanted to help her into the next lifetime. Like, yeah, let me fluff your pillow right now.
Like
You
they're
know.
doing to Mandela. They're already burying that guy. What's
Jeez.
up? He's still alive, folks.
Mm-hmm.
He's still alive. Unless I checked the CNN.com.
Mm-hmm.
This is worse than when George Burns. You remember?
Oh yeah.
That was a big deal for me anyway. All right, Manny says if he did half Craig Zimmerman, probably would have ripped him off laying on the ground. My son walks to get a burger or drink, whatever. Should he be stalked and shot? No. That's Fancy Fanny. And then Bridge says he was a punk high on crack. Whatever. They never found it in his toxicology report, and I don't think anybody was going to give him any real. That would have been exposed. He was robbing houses. Yeah, right. Okay. Let me see. Why is it okay to say the N-word in a song on the radio but not in public? What the F? Obama, I agree. And the thing is, they use it in music.
Yeah, but the thing is, though,
ridiculous.
If you know radio stations, you know they can't say that N-word along with other curse words on a radio station. I mean, you know that I worked on television and in radio. You know they have a radio edited version of that, so they can't say that actual word. Now, if you buy the CD of it, yeah, you can get the you can get the uncensored version. You know, on iTunes or whatever, or any record store, they still have record stores, brick and mortar stores. But the thing is, for saying, well, they can see it on the record. The thing is, I mean, they can't say it on the radio. I mean, unless you go to a club or you buy it for yourself, you don't have to say that word. But it just really sounds ridiculous.
Well,
I got something to say.
Uh-huh.
The hate's got to stop. That's against the rules on Vaughn. The chat, all the hate stuff going back and forth and all that.
Yeah.
We got to stop that, all right? And then
Why?
change the subject.
Why? Just give us reasons.
It's against Vaughn rules. No hate speech.
No what? No hate speech.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, anybody that's putting out like really hard hate speech, chill
If we want to do it, we
out.
got to get our own way to do it.
NSA is watching your ass.
Yes.
Right, Vocal Bite? Okay. Anyway, Tara London says I hate all of you.
And we all hate you too.
Oh, where's it
Tara
going?
London says what you can't
Actually,
say.
hate is a strong word.
Well, you can't say what Tara London said. You can't say Nabisco. Nabisco. I don't know. To my cookie.
All right.
Whatever that
Tara London is gone.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know who he's on.
Yeah, I was just reading what you said.
Well, I hate all of you. Bye. That's it.
Just came
It's all
away.
good.
Oh, he's
Having his
probably-
conniption.
He's watching. He just logged out.
Anyway, let's see. Next dog. Lots of racists in here. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta
That's
cut
true.
it. Got it.
There is no free speech. It costed someone.
Yeah, it cost someone's life. Yes.
Oh yeah.
There is free speech to a point.
Yes, up to a
Okay?
certain
But
point.
when it starts getting to a personal level, that's where
Yes.
that's where they consider it. It's a personal level, and the
And when-
took that personal attack on them because of that.
Yeah,
word.
when the
So
personal
let's
attacks
move on.
becomes physical, that's when it really becomes a problem.
We got other news.
Well, anyway,
Other stuff. I
we
do
got-
have one.
Yeah,
A study
bring it
about
up,
the
baby.
fair cheats cost MARTA nearly $3.4 million. So somebody's been jerking around the fairs at MARTA. How about
I don't
that?
know what MARTA is. Some of these people don't even know.
The MARTA is
They
the
think
transit
it's
bus.
MARTA.
It's the MARTA bus is the transit system in Atlanta. Whether it's by bus and by train, subway. That's kind of like our subway and bus system in Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta Transit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The worst system around. There no services on Sunday.
Hey, that's Cousineau.
Is he here?
No, he wasn't that.
Oh, man. Okay, well, here it is. In Atlanta, a new study estimates that people who don't pay for their subway or bus rides are costing Metro Atlanta's transit agency nearly $3.4 million annually. The estimated revenue loss represents less than 1% of MARTA's current budget, but officials says it still hurts. MARTA's chief operating officer, Rich Krisak, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that spending an additional $2 million annually could reduce waiting times at rail stations by 5 minutes. Shorter waiting times could attract more riders, leading to more revenue for the agency. The study concluded the rate for fare evasion on the rail system was around 2%. MARTA based its estimates on observations at rail stations and bus stops. MARTA General Manager Keith Parker has formed a task force to study possible solutions. So it's
wow.
going to be
Okay.
really well.
These are what, subway cheats?
Yeah.
How do they cheat the subway? So you got to pass a bus driver.
Yeah.
Are they doing their job, or are they just saying, "Come on in"?
I guess they're not.
Shit, they never did that to me.
Yeah, I guess it must be totally different in Atlanta than it is in New York, I guess. Possibly.
Yeah, but here's the thing. How did that happen? Have they mentioned that?
No, they haven't. Not recently, no.
No, I mean, they mentioned there's a $4.4 million cheat going on.
Yeah.
By the passengers.
Mm-hmm.
Did they mention if the bus drivers are at fault to this? Wouldn't that be like the first way of getting it?
There may be some way, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. You can't walk into, let's say, a museum that charges a fee, or you can't go into a cab without paying.
Right.
You can't go into a bus without paying unless the driver lets you.
Yeah,
right?
the driver lets you unless they know that person, I guess.
Well, I need that story. I'm going to put it out and give my opinion on it.
Okay. Also, for those who live, it's updated for the mosquito spraying. This mosquito spraying in Bibb County continues tonight from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. in areas in weather permitting. Areas 19 and 20 include Thomaston Road, Lower Thomaston Road, Montpelier Station Road, Hopewell Road, Midway Road, Bonner Gilbert Road, Lizella Road, Hamlin Road, South Lizella Road, Holly Road, Knoxville Road, Columbus Road, Eisenhower Parkway, Dixon Road, Bethel Church Road,
Nice.
Fulton Mill Road, Honeygut Road, Taylor Road, Rogers Road, Burgate Road, and Dove Drive.
Yeah, those mosquitoes are poison out here. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. And I get bitten all the time. And I got to stay indoors.
Mm-hmm. If you have a question about mosquito spraying, you can call the hotline at 621-5888.
Yeah. Anyway.
Do you need like a insect repellent or something to protect you? Something like
Yeah,
that?
I'm gonna have to get propellant. And, also, you wear that copper tone shit on your skin. They smell that. They stay away.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Michelle Stacy. Actually, they say, how the hell do you get on a bus? How the hell do you sneak on a bus?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Because I'm not sure how the bus drivers and those that are local, like Ellen Macon and I believe some other guys here that mention it. I just don't understand how they can get in and steal that money unless the bus drivers can say, "Hey, give me the money."
Yeah.
Going.
Definitely.
Going. Like a dollar cab.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they may say, "Just give me $1."
Yeah.
You never know. I mean, it could happen. They haven't done it to me because they know I'll rat on their ass.
Yes, definitely.
Anyway.
I do have some really, I have some news about Chick-fil-A. Some news about Chick-fil-A says Chick-fil-A's Kathy tweets ruling, sad day for our nation. So some people are not too happy about the Supreme Court ruling from Wednesday afternoon. This is from Jake Way from WXIA. It says Chick-fil-A President Dan Cathy started to say something on Twitter about same-sex marriage shortly after the landmark Supreme Court ruling Wednesday, then apparently changed his mind, but not before it was seen across the internet. Not long after the High Court's decision was handed down Wednesday morning, Cathy, no stranger to controversy, tweeted, "Sad day for our nation. Founding fathers would be ashamed of our generation to abandon wisdom of the ages, cornerstone of strong societies." Cathy later deleted that tweet, but not before it was retweeted and ended up at the center of an online firestorm. So Chick-fil-A issued a statement late Wednesday which said that it was more concerned with providing great tasting food and genuine hospitality to everyone, but pointed out that Cathy has his own personal views. They went on to say that Cathy pulled his tweet offline because he realized his views didn't necessarily represent the views of all customers, restaurant owners, and employees, and didn't want to distract them from providing a great restaurant experience, quote unquote.
Okay. I hate to cut you short, but I got Tara London asking about the dates, and should we talk about the dates that are going on around here? And we talked about it this morning.
Yeah,
He's saying their qualifying dates are August 5th through 7th. Is that right? That story that was out that we talked about, where the election date is September 17th, right?
Yeah, September 17th.
Okay, so the qualifying date, Tara London, a.k.a. Ant,
yes,
is saying that it's
August 5th.
August 5 through 7.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure if that's the qualifying dates, are they opening up requalification and where the story is so that we could bring it up, because I didn't see that. I thought that they said that there was no opening up of qualifying dates. And
that's a new date. You can qualify. You can run again.
Oh, that's great.
Anybody can run.
Shit. Now I'm getting excited.
All right.
Let's see. Hey, Ant, maybe we could pick up all the signatures together. Go out. Sure. We always attract attention.
Yes.
Anyway, September 17th is the election. Yes. And that's what I heard on MAC. Anyway. And yes. All right. So we got to talk on the phone, dude. We got to come up with a master plan of taking over the city. You as mayor. And me as I don't know what yet.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hoot right there.
Hey, listen. Even if I don't run, just put me in your administration. Just make me just make me a guy who points everything out. Let me be the bulldog on a leash.
Yes.
And I'll go out and make noise, and then you come back with an elaborate way of saying it, because you're so good at it. You're better, you have better diction.
Yes, vocabulary.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Better diction. So you got the ball.
Yeah, and the coat.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the coat. Shit, that pink coat would be fabulous.
Yes.
I'll try to find a pink coat myself or buy one and dye it pink.
Wow.
Why not?
Okay.
Or a red one.
Yeah, they'll work. It'll definitely work.
A red one. I like red. The Bulls go after.
Just buy a white one and wash it with a red shirt.
Yeah. That'll work right there. That'll be the easiest way.
Yeah, exactly. We'll start a crime syndicate. You know what our crime is? That we're going after other crime. How's that?
Okay.
I mean, they know it. They know it. We put it in their face.
Be like the Shield on WWE.
Edward, you can carry a gun anytime, baby. You can even come to the house with it. How's that? Again, I'm not such a big diehard. I just personally wouldn't own a gun. First of all, I think I'll shoot somebody.
Yes.
I'll let somebody else do that.
You Smeriglio yourself.
Yes.
I'm the Godfather, exactly. And I'll do the dance like the Godfather, even with a bum leg. I feel good. Da-na-na-na-na. While we're walking down the block, Anthony with his pink jacket, me in my red jacket, pointing fingers to the workers and saying, look. Look at that shit. When are you people gonna fix it? I'll be the same boss that I was in New York.
And then they had to kick
What
you out
a
of
son of a
Georgia.
bitch I was at that hospital. You couldn't work for me, believe me. You couldn't even touch me when it came to being a boss. I had you like
a vice.
It was a fascism. Swear to you.
Well,
and I used to even say that in my office.
Goodness.
I'd say, I am the ruler here. I am the one in charge. You know why? Because I was the one that was getting all the bullshit from the higher ups. You didn't have to deal with those hobos. You did nothing but sit on their ass, except to make sure that I got a paycheck. And of course somebody else did that. Right?
Right.
So I made sure that I was a good dog.
Yes.
D-A-W-G. I'll be your dog there, Tower.
Yes, Georgia. Talking about Georgia. Yeah. Well, I have some other stories from Georgia, particularly Georgia Bulldogs, into the next hour when we get into sports.
What are you going to promote for the U.S. Army?
Well, speaking of the Army, that's a good thing you're talking about. This is in Savannah. An elite Army helicopter unit based in coastal Georgia is building a memorial for its fallen members.
Oh.
A groundbreaking ceremony was scheduled yesterday at Hunter Army Airfield in Savannah for the new memorial for the 3rd Battalion, 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. The unit, nicknamed the Night Stalkers, flies helicopters in extremely hazardous combat environments, often at night and at low altitudes with pilots wearing night vision goggles. The memorial will recognize members of the unit who have died since it was activated in the 1980s. To date, 20 Night Stalker soldiers have died, 2/3 of them in combat. A civilian foundation has been set up to raise money for the memorial and to oversee its construction and maintenance.
You know, all I'm saying is this. Isn't that funny? That's like legalized stalkers. Think about it. If they used the word stalking on you, I bet it would be you'd be in jail.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
No
but then
doubt.
they have army units that are stalkers, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Brainwashing, I'm telling you. Anyway, Tyler London says it would have gone perfectly with my campaign. So Irv, and then Michelle says, so Irv was an ass and a black man that owned slaves. Maybe in one life. You never know. I want the key to the city, Edward Mampa. You'll get it. And if you shoot yourself in the groin, would you still keep a gun? No, I wouldn't have it to shoot myself in the groin. That's the point.
I guess
gonna happen.
Michelle said yes, because it ain't going to...
Yeah. Yeah, and then she says, I always wanted an extra snot pocket. Yeah.
Ew. Okay.
That sounds like something you put in a toaster.
Yeah. A snap pocket.
Anyway, after I'm done, you'll really be broke, he said.
Oh, boy.
Lord. Okay, and then Mo Zeus Jones, welcome. What the F man is useless in its respect for all things. He boasts, he envies himself as God, when in fact the human race is nothing but little children playing grown up. Exactly. And you know, I use that a lot. I always say that men today are little boys that got old.
Yeah.
They're still as ignorant as 17-year-old.
Yeah, well, people in general,
think about it.
men and women, they're just no different than children. They just pay taxes.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they may have a job.
Yes.
And they definitely most likely have a gun.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows?
Okay, I guess I can start going more to national and international.
All right, bring it on. I got a ton of stories here, too.
Oh, yeah. Alec Baldwin launches a Twitter rant
story.
against the journalists.
Now, what the hell is wrong with him? He wants to make himself important now?
Well,
Since the show is going off the air?
Well, it's been off the air for about a month, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he's just kind
Too
of
much
restless.
time on his hand.
Yeah, yes.
Too much self-importance.
So it look like, I guess we have
Want to
a
answer
call.
that, Ed?
No, I got things I got to do here.
Okay.
God.
It's
All right,
9:50
here we go.
a.m.
Hello.
Me on live?
Morning, Rose? Yes. Oh, good morning. Good morning. This is a Michelangelo call, actually, folks. Hold on a second. Hold on there. Welcome to the Morning Roast. We're doing great. Now, are you in the movie?
Actually, my daughter is in the movie.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
great. That's great. And tell us a little about what your daughter is doing in the movie. Now, this is the movie. Let's preface this, Derek.
Yes, the movie that Michelangelo was promoting yesterday. It's entitled "Imprisoned by Love."
Right.
That's directed by Michelangelo, and
It's about spousal abuse.
Yeah, spousal abuse, and this is one of the cast members, or at least the parent of one of the cast members.
Okay,
right?
so this is the parent of one of the cast members, folks. And what news do you have for us? So, hey, it's open forum. What do you want to talk about?
My daughter plays the youngest daughter of the mother that is abused in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
the little girl, yeah.
she plays the little girl that's watching all this, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then give us a description of what she's seeing in terms of the abuse that's going on. You know, give us a sense of her character.
Mm-hmm.
She's a quiet, reserved little girl, loving life, She does her best in school. She looks up to her older sister. She's a little confused about what's going on with mom and dad, and she doesn't really understand, but she knows that it's not right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And personally, how does that affect you, being a mother and seeing this act going on of something that's really serious issue in our country? It seems like it's getting out of control somewhat. And how do you feel as a mother about all this? Even though maybe you're not experiencing this, or maybe you have, but through your daughter's eyes, how do you feel?
Watching her actually take part in this, it was something that actually, to me, was very important, because I wanted her to be able to recognize it if she was to see it happening somewhere else and know the signs. And I wanted to let her know, her father and I, that it's very important that she doesn't fall into that, and that she understands that it's wrong and that it's not something that should happen, even though it does happen more often than not.
Right. And so, what do you think, you as a parent, do you not have, of course you do, but by law you do, but you obviously would have some input on the things that she does even as an adult. You'll keep an eye out for her, watch her back as a mother, make sure that you're instilling in her the values that you need so that she has more wisdom and awareness of the characters that she gets involved with. Do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're always going to watch out and keep of course, as a mother, you're going to do it. But are you going to do it in the way that you're doing it now? Are you going to continue this working relationship with your daughter?
Of course. I'll keep it with her until the day I'm not here anymore. That is something that is extremely important, and unfortunately, I don't think that we have enough of that.
That's great. Are you a single mom, dear?
No, I'm not.
Okay, great. So the father is there. Amen.
Her and her sister.
Awesome, awesome. And then tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a stay-at-home mom right now. I fully am invested in both of my daughter's career. They both act. My oldest one, which is in this movie, she is an awesome little girl. I actually just dropped her off at acting boot camp this morning. She's working on a project with them, and pretty much I just get in where I fit in. I'm there to help on set with anything that needs to be helped with.
Wow. Are you an actress at all?
No, I'm not.
So she's a stay-at-home mother.
Right. I know she's a stay-at-home mother, which is a job in itself. But what I'm asking is, where does she get her desire to act from?
It pretty much was all natural. Her father is in the IT field. I'm in the medical field when I'm not at home. And she pretty much picked it up just acting around the house, dressing up. Typical little girl, want to be dressed up as a princess all the time. And her father realized that about maybe 1.5 that she started doing a lot of role playing.
Yeah.
And we just decided to culture it from there. And she got into it. She loved it. She has a big passion for it. So we just go ahead and let her go with it. As long as she loves what she's doing, we get her into the things that will help to grow it.
Wow. Okay. And your daughter, do you do any homeschooling with her besides the school that she's probably enrolled in? Is there anything going on there between you and her?
Yes, I do homeschooling. She actually just finished 2nd grade. She'll be going to 3rd grade in August. And I do the homeschooling online with her, and she loves it. Wow.
And then another question. Are you a college graduate? It doesn't really matter to me, honestly, but just interested.
Actually, yes, I am. I have my associate's degree.
Okay. Great. Awesome. Derek?
Yeah, I was just trying to remember the names of all the characters. So she's not Leah, she's Jalen, right?
Yes, she's Jalen Simone.
Jalen Simone. Okay, Jalen Simone. So she plays the Jordan or Brittany?
She plays Jordan.
Okay, Jordan. She's the younger. Okay, Jordan.
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying to get all the characters' names and
who the person is. Now,
is this her first feature film?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Wow.
That's really good.
So there's a question from one of our viewers who likes to put up really heady stuff that may or may not sound like, it sounds a little condescending, so bear with it. But he's one of our voices. He says, does homeschool make her a better actress?
Homeschooling gives her a well-around character and all, because she's exposed to things that she normally would not be exposed to in the classroom. It's more hands-on.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, truthfully, if I had the choice, I would rather have homeschool myself. At least I don't have to worry about bullies. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, that whole bullying situation is such a distraction in big schools today.
Right.
Which is why I'm even a member of a campaign against bullying here in Macon. I have their page and I make comments, and we go, and I've been to a couple of rallies for them. For the city. Right. It's a big problem.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. I mean, I saw it for myself.
Yes, I mean.
My brother does say she's not exposed to all the people. What do you think of that?
She's exposed to a select few of people. She does make friends outside. She is a part of other activities.
Okay. So she has other curriculums that she does, like the acting part. She has outlets.
Yes, she does.
Yes,
right.
Also a second-degree green belt in Taekwondo.
That's good.
Yeah, that's great. I guess, people have this mindset of homeschooling like they did in the old days, where they lock you in the house and the mother comes out after dinner or before dinner and or whatever. They have a very maybe misunderstanding of what homeschooling is. And so can you enlighten some of our viewers as to what homeschooling really means to you? What does it mean to you?
It means for me that I'm able to actually have control over and hands-on interaction with my child's education, as opposed to putting her in the classroom, having a teacher feed her work, having her regurgitate it, and hope that she's getting it. And she's in an environment that will allow her to get it. Often our children are put in the classroom and they're giving information and they're expected to learn it and regurgitate it. But if they're not in an environment that is conducive for them to learn, they usually don't do well. She did well in the classroom, but because she was a little more advanced than some of the other students, she was only able to go but so far. Now that she's at homeschooling, she was able to get into it and take it far.
Okay, that sounds constructive.
Somebody's applauding you as a homeschooling mother. Obviously, you got your ducks in a row and did your due diligence to make sure that your daughter gets the best education. But my question the first question I thought of, does she get a diploma, or is there something that you're capable of providing her to show that she's actually been educated? Because unfortunately, everything's about paper today. You got to prove yourself through paper.
Like a degree, a diploma, something.
Yeah. How do you provide her that?
She does get a diploma, because even though it's online schooling, it goes through the county that you live in. Everything is regulated by the county.
Okay.
Okay. Through the county, I guess.
Through the county. So you're certified?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a certified homeschooling teacher.
You have to have a high school diploma in order to be what they call a learning coach. And they actually have teachers that set up the children's curriculum. It's given to you online. You log into the system with the children. You go through their lesson for the day, and then their work is submitted to their teacher, who then in turn grades it. And they also do online testing.
Right. Well, it sounds like you've done a lot of your schooling in this area. Now, the other thing is, okay, so you're certified to give her a diploma. That's great. And anyone could do this. Somebody's saying that it could be done on the internet. And the county does the testing at the end. And so it's not like, Amish, where you're living in your own world. The fact of the matter is you make it legal, according to government law, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's great. And
I did have some. So I know "In Prison My Love" is her first feature-length film, I guess. Were there any other projects that she has done prior to this, like any commercials or something, or?
Most of the things that she has done before has been independent. She actually did do it's an internet commercial. It's called The Bead Barrette, and she actually the woman that owns the company just got picked up in about 400 Walmarts across the country.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Very good. Very good.
Well, this is good news because it could, parents want to step up maybe and do this kind of stuff. They could do it.
Yeah.
And not pay all these exorbitant fees for private school.
Exactly.
And they just have to put in the time, I guess.
Yeah, and which basically what a kid really needs more, probably a time more than just, I mean, not saying that money's not important, but you always have like these test rates and stuff in public schools and stuff, how they're failing because some of the people are just not qualified to teach sometimes.
To teach.
And who's more
They want bodies, that's all they want.
I mean, who's more qualified than a parent,
Exactly. It's called responsible parenting.
Exactly.
Anyway, one other question I wanted to ask you is, what area do you live in? And just in general, you don't have to give us an address.
We're in Gwinnett County.
Oh, Gwinnett County. That's
Gwinnett County. I lived in Gwinnett. I lived all over Gwinnett, actually. In Beaufort.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Lawrenceville. And I lived in Indian Trail. So I kind of went through that whole Gwinnett thing. Sewanee, by the way, as well. Right around the corner from the stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Are there any other movie projects that that she plans on being a part of, acting in?
Right now, she actually got cast as the young version of the main female character in the movie called I Do Maybe. It was a stage play that they're turning into a feature-length film.
Wow, she's on a roll, baby.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you, Miss Simone, and on your endeavors, and also congratulations on your daughter being a part of Michelangelo's film, and hopefully you'll have more best wishes and success in part of Miss Jalen's education as well as professionally as well and academically.
Excellent. Oh, by the way, we're gonna be at the VIP red carpet. You gonna be there?
Yes, we will be there.
Cool.
All right.
Well, let's make sure we hook up then. Chill out, talk, whatever. Give hugs.
I most certainly will.
It'll be great.
It'll be great.
We're looking forward to it for sure.
We are too. You guys have a great day.
Okay.
Well, thank you for honoring us with your call. We appreciate you calling in and helping us learn something today for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Homeschooling, if done right,
it can be well.
It could do well.
Do wonders, yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good day and a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go.
There you go. How about that's a nice way to end an hour.
Well, and here's the thing. What's so funny? Yeah, we're gonna go to break. Just a quick note of this. Instead of talking a lot about the parental abuse, which the spousal abuse, which we talked about the other day, we talked about a whole different subject.
Yeah.
About homeschooling.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good.
That was very good.
Coming out of,
because a lot of people. I mean, I wish they would have had homeschooling when I was growing up, because I was just ducking and dodging bullies just left and right. But unfortunately, since my parents were at work and stuff, which only left my grandparents, which it would have done me no bit of good at all, because they only went no further than the 3rd, 4th grade, because they, my grandparents were kids during those sharecropping years during the early 20th century. So it wouldn't have done me any good. So I had no choice but to go to public schools. But if you're able to do it, then by all means do it. Especially benefit your child. Your child. Your child. You're there to make your child have a better future than yourself. Parents want their children to have better than what they had when they were.
I mean, you make it fun. You make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I used to love teaching Sunday school for that reason. I used to have fun with the kids. Mm-hmm. You can make it fun. Exactly. All right, we got to go on break.
Yes, it's 10:06 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Godzilla's about to
Yes, it's 77 degrees outside Macon, Georgia. It's 10:06 a.m. 76 and sunny right now with a high of 95 degrees. Woo!
Yeah, baby. You're
and a low of 73. Yeah, find the quickest slushy fan and air conditioner you can get and keep cool.
We'll be back.
We'll be right back. Don't touch that mouse.
Okay, I need to give a warning here. This video here has...
You need to give a warning.
Yeah.
You're laughing at yourself. Hey, go ahead. What's the
This
warning?
video has sexual content. This is a warning.
All right. If we're not gonna get banned, are we? I don't think so. All right. Go ahead.
Took off. He's over there, like, resting. Okay. This little biting the heck out of the bull snake's all jacked up. He's bleeding everywhere.
Wait, you're going too close.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he's getting too close. You'll have one to share. Right there,
He's under there. He's just chilling over there.
Yeah, he's over doing push-ups, man.
Oh, he is sitting over there, yeah.
Oh.
So the squirrel was winning?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Well, he was chewing on it, but it didn't seem to faze the snake, and the snake would wind his way up the legs of the table and be creeping up under the underside of the table. See, the squirrel's not. Oh, the squirrel's not coming over because we're all out here now.
Yeah, back up a little bit, Ryan. I want to see this again.
Yeah, this is a good show.
Time is up.
Yeah.
So you guys have just been entertained for the last half
Yeah,
hour.
I came home from the pool and sat
I
here.
felt sorry for the snake.
I was gonna say, I can't believe you called us up, pulled up a chair and a cooler of beer.
Watch him fight to the death.
Oh, he's coming. He's coming.
He's coming back.
That's not a rabbit squirrel.
Oh, yeah. He's coming for more.
I think he's your protector.
It's funny, the squirrel has been around.
He's just chewing on him, man.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem to get through his skin, though. I would think a squirrel could. You know, they crack nuts.
I've never seen this in my whole life.
Get him, Rocky. Should we save the snake?
We'll save whoever loses the fight.
I don't think my camera's going to show it on this one's not good enough.
Strike him. Oh!
My attention. He's back for more. This is amazing. I've never seen this. No, ever. I can't believe a squirrel would. You don't see hardly any squirrels out in the start. Exactly. Especially one that thinks he's Rambo. Look at it. Here it comes.
Whoa!
Oh, he's not so tough. Yeah. He's like, yeah, that one stung a little bit.
He's really going at him. Those teeth are sharp, too.
I think that last bite kind of stung him. Maybe not. He's just changing angles.
You can hear him, like, crunching. Alright, I mean...
She's got babies around here.
Whoa!
I think that's what it is. I think she's got babies around here. It's back there sitting down on the same spot. There's some Phoenix out here.
Here we are back.
Moby Dick.
Wow. That was great, Ed.
Yes. Yes, Jonah Noel. How about that? How about
There
that?
you go. Coney Island Beach, New York.
It's 10,
Wow.
11 a.m. in the a.m. right here, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We're down the home stretch into the third and final hour of the morning roast on Flippin' Friday, June 28, 2013, the final Friday of the month of June. You're with Irv Martinez, DB Derek Barrett here, and Ed Einbinder.
Oh my God.
AKA making
yeah, that was great. I love the videos. By the way, that squirrel is like, that's from New York. Those are aggressive squirrels in there. And they go right up to you, dude.
That must be that.
They go right up to you. They don't give a shit.
Crack. They find it on the ground, you know.
And they're just aggressive.
A little crack here, a little crack there.
And just messing with a snake.
I don't care. Well, hell, if nobody cared, why they write a fucking song about it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that in that video, the snake lovers of America are going to protest.
Oh, yeah.
You let that squirrel bite that guy while you filmed it and laughed.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised.
I'm sure somebody will complain.
I'm surprised that snake didn't do a rope-a-dope. I mean, just probably saying, yeah, come on, get a little bit closer. Come on, squirrel, get a little bit closer. You know, and then just basically turn into a squirrel hot pocket. You know.
Don't be disgusted with that. Now, the one with the whale eating the guy or knocking him down, whatever, he looked like he swallowed him.
Yeah.
Nobody will complain about that. They love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, you know, when we saw The Birds. You remember the movie The Birds?
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock?
That creeped me out more than Psycho did.
No, check this out. I swear to God. I'm in the park. We're watching it in Cemetery for Halloween, like a couple of years back. And it was a Making Film Festival here. Mm-hmm. And they had the blow-up screen and all that in the graveyard. And I'm sitting at the graveyard of somebody. Mm-hmm. Anyway, The Birds goes on. You hear the laughing in the audience when the people were being attacked by the birds. They were laughing. Like, and remember the scene when the little girl gets attacked and they show like, look like a doll, and her legs were kicking in the ground while the birds were devouring her. Mm-hmm. People were laughing. People love to see other people in mayhem.
Yeah, I know. Remember that another movie it didn't have birds in the video. It was really, really creepy, at least when I was a kid. Yeah. It was called The Night of the Lepus, where it was basically had these big giant rabbits just taking over this small town and stuff. That junk was, I know it was 4 years old, but that junk was kind of creepy. It was up there with like the Planet of the Apes, crazy.
Were they eating people?
Supposedly, yeah.
Wow. Oh, so they never showed it. But you know, rabbits eat.
Yeah, but the
they
thing
eat
is,
like plants. How the hell do they devour people?
Well, I mean,
what kind of a premise is that?
Well, a hippopotamus eats plants too, but a lot of people actually end up getting killed by hippopotamuses because they have these huge jaws. And
that's a stretch. Big rabbits. They had to make them big.
Well, yeah, obviously.
How big were they?
About the size of a Volkswagen. You know, Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, maybe.
That was big. I mean,
they are rodents, aren't they? Yeah.
Well, yeah, they are rodents. So yeah.
Could you imagine that squirrel being giant sized and coming and attacking us?
Oh, please, man! You would definitely have to lock the door on that one.
Yeah, you really have to have snake skin. But shit. Well, listen. I think the most outrageous killer of all was the movie about the killer tomatoes. Now that has got to be the worst stretch of the imagination.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
It's kind of like Tower of London. Complete, total, out there imagination.
Wow.
Right, Tower? You would think of a premise like that, man-eating tomatoes.
Yeah. Speaking of some killers, there's some really crazy killers. The suspect in the Colorado theater killings has to wear a hidden harness during a trial.
No, he's got to wear a harness. They want to bolt him down to the floor, down,
seems like
so he doesn't do anything.
Yes, the Colorado theater shooting suspect James Holmes will wear a hidden harness under his clothes to restrain him during his trial, which will have the largest jury pool in the state history of Colorado. He is accused of killing 12 people and wounding dozens more in an Aurora, Colorado movie theater. He will wear the harness, which will be anchored to the floor, but due to his violent nature of his alleged crimes, according to a judge. Judge Carlos Zamora Jr. will send out 5,000 jury summons and expect at least 3,200 people will end up in court. He ruled yesterday. That would mean that each of the 450,000 Arapahoe County residents eligible for jury duty will have a 1 in 90 chance of being called. For this one case alone, according to court spokesman Rob McCallum. It says the idea to bring in 800 prospective jurors at a time on Thursdays and Fridays early next year, a process that McCallum says will take 3 to 4 weeks. It says those thousands will be winnowed down to 12 men and women for the start of the trial, which is set to begin February 3rd of next year, and it's expected
Now,
to last
let me
4
just
months.
jump in for a second, because here's the thing. The reason why they're asking, why hidden? Why is it a hidden harness holding him down? Because they don't want to prejudice the jury.
Yeah.
They don't want they want to give him a fair trial.
Yeah, they don't want to.
But at the same time, they don't want to let him loose.
They don't want to think that he's a total nut job.
Guy jump up and freak out. So they're gonna hold him down for that reason, hidden, so it doesn't prejudice his case.
Yeah. So
that's the deal on that. They want to make sure that the case isn't prejudiced upon. Although it's going to be hard to find a jury that hasn't heard about this clown.
Yeah.
Which clown are we talking about now?
We're talking about the kid that killed everybody in the theater.
Anchoring himself.
Supposed to be the Joker during the Batman shootout.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why Vorpalbite, they're not gonna Vorpalbite too. That they want to bolt him down to the floor. That's kind of freaky. Anyway, why not just have him in handcuffs and make sure? I mean, there's going to just put a lot of police. Oh, by the way, for that reason alone, they don't want to have a bunch of sheriffs there, because then again, it could prejudice his outcome.
Okay.
You know, they don't want to prejudice the jury. That's why. So they have all these guys around it. It gives the impression that he's a completely dangerous guy, which he is.
Yes.
But they want to make sure they give him level ground.
Yes. I mean, they wanted to have him safe for the court, but at the same time, they don't want to make him feel like, well, if he's crazy, if he's that crazy, and then might as well just throw the book at him, Yeah. Anyway, it's speaking of crazy. Like you said, Alec Baldwin is now at it again. At this time, a journalist on the receiving end of his expletive-filled rant. The actor waged a war of words with a Daily Mail journalist over a report that Baldwin's wife was tweeting during actor James Gandolfini's funeral yesterday.
Yeah.
Said that the pregnant yoga instructor's social media feed was full of upbeat posts, while the soprano star's friends, families, and co-stars were gripped with grief at a New York Catholic church, according to journalist George Stark. It says messages including a request for ideas about a wedding anniversary present and promotional notes about her upcoming appearance on The Rachel Ray Show. In a statement hours later, Baldwin said his wife Hilaria left her phone in the car. He said that it's disgraceful that a reporter would manufacture and publish a story and not call for comment or explanation, especially when it's intended to take away attention from honoring the memory of a beloved figure like James Gandolfini. It says the statement came after a series of fiery tweets aimed at the journalist. It says, my wife and I attended a funeral to pay our respects to an old friend, and some toxic Brit writes his effing trash, he tweeted. My wife did not use her phone in any capacity at our friend's funeral. The star of the award-winning comedy 30 Rock threatened to find the writer of the story and F you up, referring to Stark as a toxic little queen.
Wow.
Attempts to reach the journalist were unsuccessful. Baldwin's wife also weighed in on the report. It says, I hope that this reporter knows how much pain and drama he has caused from his poor journalism. Hilaria Baldwin tweeted, lying and bullying are shameful. Twitter, which lets users post messages in 140 characters or less, also used the advanced scheduling of tweets to post later. It is unclear whether that was the case. Shortly after the rant, Baldwin deleted his Twitter account. And this is not the first time the actor has been engaged.
Well, he cares. You know, a guy talks like that, stay away from him.
He later apologized, though.
Of course. Stupid.
Wow. But
emotional basket case. That's why he got divorced from that woman. I mean, she said he was abusive to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't surprise me, that whole Baldwin family clan, they all got issues. One's like a drug addict, another one's a minister.
Mm-hmm.
They live on extremes.
Yeah.
But believe me, I know. When you come from big families, there are extremes everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Extremely neurotic.
Yeah.
Extremely abusive.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely
crazy.
Kind.
Yeah,
you know, there's all sorts.
There's a whole lot of
there's a whole lot of shit going on in big families.
Yes, DS Photogas says tobacco smoke contains over 4,000 different chemicals. At least 50 are known to be carcinogens, causing cancer in humans, and many are poisonous.
I know, photo guy. I shouldn't be smoking.
Yes.
Speaking of
okay,
my vice right now.
But speaking of hot subjects and speaking of smoking,
who's smoking here?
Speaking of smoking, NASA is set to launch satellite to observe the sun.
Yes, I heard.
Sorry.
Be very quiet.
That's the end of that story, guys.
Yes. Vandenberg Air Force Base in California says NASA is getting ready to launch a satellite to observe.
They launched it already.
Yes.
I have the update.
Oh yes, they
launched it.
They launched a satellite to observe a little steady region of the sun between its surface and atmosphere. The IRIS satellite is set to ride into Earth's orbit on a rocket that will be dropped from an airplane over the Pacific, some 100 miles off of California's coast, which happened last night. If all goes planned, IRIS will spend 2 years staring at a region of the sun that lies between the surface and the corona, the glowing white ring visible during eclipses. The goal is to learn more about how this region drives solar wind and to better predict space weather. Launch was delayed beforehand last night. It was delayed a day so that the technicians at the Vandenberg Air Force Base could restore power to range equipment following an outage. This mission cost $182 million.
Wow, that's what NASA's doing. At least they're doing something. But here's the thing. I think they're concerned. We had some solar flares coming out the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, had it been facing us, would have made us crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah.
Extra crispy.
So
Extra crispy.
I think we're getting nervous about the sun.
KFC time. Yeah, being crispy is just not that good for your health. But speaking of health, actually more specifically food, says that adding butter to coffee increases energy. What? Coffee executive? Are you serious? The bulletproof coffee trend, preached by the brand's ambassador Dave Asprey, promises a daily dose of energy and weight loss. Wow. How about that?
Wow.
Well, here.
Oh yeah, this is unbelievable. I guess maybe Paula Deen had it right.
Yeah. See, butter makes everything taste better. Well, aside from bacon. And now it's the driving ingredient behind a new coffee fad said to boost energy and increase weight loss. Wow. But there's a catch. You have to use the right coffee and butter. So it's just putting butter into
Who's putting this out? The butter company?
Yes, well, NewYorkDailyNews.com. Says just putting butter into bad coffee is a bad idea. Yeah, said David Asprey, executive of the Bulletproof brand and blog who told the Daily News. Says that I realize if you want to drink something that tastes good and also make you feel good and lose a lot of weight, you need to do something with precision, he said of his high-performance yielding Bulletproof upgraded coffee. The results are in the Bulletproof recipe, which calls for 3 ingredients. Upgraded coffee, MCT, which is medium chain triglycerides, coconut palm oil, MCT coconut palm oil, and grass-fed butter.
So that's what I gotta do. I got to counter my smoking, I'm gonna eat a hell of a lot of butter. And of course I already drink a lot of coffee, which by the way, coffee is used as they use it in enema when you have chronic problems of intestinal damage going on. They give you coffee enemas to help you.
So they just put coffee beans and stuff like
that?
No,
they make coffee, real coffee, and they squirt it up your ass. And then you gotta spit it out. And they say
how about,
it's an enema.
Isn't that something in enema?
And it's supposed to help.
Now people are spending thousands of dollars for a coffee that squirts out of a mongoose's behind, the coffee beans, and yet then we have the other way of a coffee enema which is actually going in. So it's like I guess coffee is good for you in or out, I guess.
Yeah, you could press your coffee like Edward Manfred says. You press it up your ass too. And it's supposed to help, believe it or not. It's supposed to do some cleaning out.
Cleaning your colon, I guess.
Yeah, and so that's supposed to help. So maybe have some of that along with butter. Just eat a lot of butter.
It says on average a cup contains 100 to 200 calories depending on the amount of added butter.
Yeah.
It says that Asprey attributes the brain power effect of his upgraded brew, which is free from mycotoxin, mold toxins. Says that he re-engineered the process of making green coffee.
Yeah.
It's called the bulletproof process and affects how the coffee is grown out, treated, now it's shipped to the U.S. It's a huge difference, he says, of his upscale medium roasted beans, which sell as $18.95 for a 3/4 pound bag. That's
Wow.
a lot. That's a lot of beans.
Here forever says, quit smoking. Smoke a whole pack, one after the other, sick just looking at one, or swallow chewing tobacco, and you'll get sick, I guess.
Yes.
Never touch or look at a cig. 7 years, no smoking.
That's very
right.
good, very good.
Yeah. What the hell? You know, I know I gotta quit smoking. Believe me, I know.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go on any kind of medication for anxiety, which I seem to be under a lot. I'm not going to go to a psychiatrist. So all they do is sign some kind of a pill for me to deal with all my issues. I'm not going to do that either.
Right.
And so cigarettes, believe it or not, is the only common other than weed. But then weed is illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's got to be a way to deal with the real issue that I have, which is hypertension.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm stuck with that.
Yeah.
And I'm dealing with it slowly. So if you can give me a remedy for that other than a damn pill, besides changing my diet, which at times it's hard to keep up, really do that. I already take a lot of pills for my HIV and other stuff. And so to mix it with another pill is not the solution for me right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to get better physically.
It's really, talking about ups and downs. But speaking
I've been doing that.
Speaking of ups and downs, though, had some stuff about the NHL. Before I go into that, the Chicago Blackhawks are getting ready to have their ticker tape parade today over in Chicago for celebration of their comeback victory over the Boston Bruins for the Stanley Cup Finals earlier this week. It's their second Stanley Cup championship they got in 4 years. They won back in 2010, I believe. And for them, even though it's nice and sunny for Chicago, there's going to be some ups and downs for the NHL. It says that thanks to the new labor agreement, they still have a lockout so far since the season is over now. They have new labor agreement and the salary cap is coming down. Teams will be assessed a cap penalty if players were retired before the end of a long-term contract. That they can buy out 2 players over the next 2 years. That's why some are not bringing back free agents looking to move players off their payroll and paying a few guys millions to go away. It seems that there's still going on in the NHL about this lockout and labor agreement. The root cause of this craziness is not about the labor agreement. It's the last lockout and the last labor agreement. It says after the NHL shut down for the 2004-2005 season, the cap was introduced, and the age of unrestricted free agency went from 31 to 27. The talent was spread throughout the league, and teams locked up their best players. So if anyone can win, everyone expected to win. Even though not everyone can, and the resources are limited. So team changes coaches when they can't change players. They make the trades when they don't see a solution in the free agency. They overpay in both markets when they don't have better options. Same stuff as always, but more pressure than ever before. So there's been a lot of problem with this team, the Phoenix Coyotes, which basically was once bankrupt. And so far that the buyer wants millions to operate in an arena, but they want an out of the agreement after 5 years or $50 million in losses. So it's been losing money. The Coyotes have been losing money. And I guess not that many people. The NHL itself owned the Coyotes for a while. So they've been having trouble trying to find someone to buy the Coyotes, I see, because I guess not that many people, are into professional hockey compared to like the NBA or the NFL. It's not as fun. I mean, even though despite the fact they do get to fight in hockey compared to the NBA and NFL, at least they get to fight. You can't, you're not allowed to fight in the NFL or the NBA for some reason. I don't know why. But aside from that, there are some baseball. The San Francisco Giants are going to play against the Colorado Rockies at 8:40 p.m. tonight. The LA Angels are going to be playing against Houston Astros 8:10 tonight. Kansas City Royals versus the Minnesota Twins. And also another game, the St. Louis Cardinals versus the Oakland A's at 10:05 p.m. tonight. Check your local listings to see if these games are playing in your area. For the scoreboards from last night's games, the Yankees got blanked by the Texas Rangers 2-0. The LA Angels over the Detroit Tigers 3-1. Chicago Cubs over the Milwaukee Brewers 7-2. The Arizona Diamondbacks over the Washington Nationals 3-2. The Mets over the Colorado Rockies 3-2. The Baltimore Orioles over Cleveland Indians 7-3. The Boston Red Sox over the Toronto Blue Jays 7-4. The Minnesota Twins over Kansas City Royals 3-1, and the LA Dodgers over the Phillies 6-4. And also another news, I guess this is there was some news going on in the NBA draft since the season over. They have the NBA draft for the upcoming season. Last night, Georgia basketball had not produced a top 10 NBA draft pick since 2003, since Jarvis Hayes was selected by the Washington Wizards. But that drought ended when former Bulldog Kentavious Caldwell-Pope was selected by the Detroit Pistons with the 8th overall pick in its first round of the 2013 NBA draft. Caldwell-Pope is a 6'5" shooting guard from Greenville, Georgia. He left Georgia as a sophomore, but his 2 years in the red and black were nothing short of impressive. Last season, Caldwell-Pope averaged 18.5 points per game and raised his free throw percentage to 79.9% in the SEC. He ranked second in the SEC with 3-point field goals, 84, and third in steals, 65, and 8th in TO percentages. I guess timeout percentage. But Caldwell-Pope, he finished his sophomore year ranking first among the SEC in 3-point percentages and player efficiency. He ended his Georgia career with a high note by scoring 32 points a game, a career high, and grabbing 13 rebounds in the Bulldogs' final game of the 2012-2013 game lost to LSU in the SEC tournament. First, he earned him SEC Player of the Year honors and a spot on both the coaches and AP All-SEC First Team, a feat which was last accomplished by Hawks legendary Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins in 1981, over 30 years ago.
Wow. Okay. Great news. Maybe this whole idea that they give me all this advice about how to get out of myself, go out, take a walk, get your disco ball, loud music, and
yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe what I'm supposed to be doing are things that I hate to do, which is I hate hockey.
Yeah.
Maybe I should take that up. I hate sports.
Because they do let you fight.
Well, yeah, they do. They do. I can knock some teeth out. Maybe just get more. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do something. I got to figure something out. Here's the other problem in this town.
Mm-hmm.
1, I don't have a car. 2, I can't just get up and take a walk because, believe it or not, in my neighborhood, it's going to be like either somebody saying something to me or somebody asking something of me or dirty looks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, I've got to go like to the park downtown, take a walk downtown maybe.
Yeah.
But, thanks for liking my hat, Irv. You are too small for hockey. They will kill you. And Zumba is an indoor activity, I know. They have Pilar Wilder, who's doing the... actually, she's doing the choreography for Hairspray, which Anthony Tower London is in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she's a good friend of mine, except I never go to... I don't pay for a class.
Yeah, but... Well, in
like that.
In NFL news and football news, college. Well, not college,
besides the killing.
Yeah, besides of Hernandez, we have another. We have another player, ex-player. It says ex-Browns player pleads not guilty to New Jersey beating. It says in Patterson, New Jersey, former rookie linebacker for the Cleveland Browns. I'm sorry, Diaz. I know it's your home team and stuff. I don't like to I don't like to talk about it myself.
You know, every person I've met going to jail or in jail or while I was in jail. They always say they were innocent.
Well, duh, yeah. A former rookie linebacker for the Cleveland Browns has pleaded not guilty for attempted murder and other charges in New Jersey. Asar Walcott was arraigned yesterday in Patterson, New Jersey. He is accused of punching Derek Jones in the side of the head outside the Palace Gentlemen's Club in Passaic early Sunday. The prosecutor says Jones is in a medically induced coma at a New York hospital where he's listed in critical condition. The 23-year-old Walcott is being represented by a public defender while he attempts to hire an attorney. He is being held on $500,000 bail. The case will now go to a grand jury. Walcott, who played for the University of Virginia, was signed by the Browns on May 13th, following a tryout. The team released him Wednesday. Wow.
Well, you know, on the other end with this guy, Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
His hometown is freaking out. And here's the story. The murder case against former New England Patriots tight end Aaron Hernandez has led to investigators to his hometown in Bristol, Connecticut, the working class Hartford suburb where he began his meteoric rise that could carry him to the upper echelon of the NFL. He is remembered as a fun-loving teenager at Bristol Central High School, where he followed in the footsteps of his older brother DJ, who would star as a quarterback tight end at the University of Connecticut.
Wow.
Some recall him struggling with the death of his father, Dennis, in 2006, but remaining determined to become a pro athlete, spending hours working out before and after school. As Bristol police assisted Massachusetts investigators arresting one local man as a fugitive from justice, the community was left to ponder the fall of a hometown hero with a $40 million pro contract and a new family of his own. I guess it's affecting his town now.
Yeah, but speaking of, and also in addition to which, you know who has been in the public about losing relationships professionally. Puma Sneakers has ended its relationship with Hernandez as well. Says the sportswear company made the move yesterday to end the 2-year contract it agreed to in April with Hernandez, according to Puma spokesperson Katie Sheptick. She said that it was going to be involved with our that Hernandez was going to be involved with our men's training program, quote unquote, but had not started working with Puma and his role wasn't specifically defined. Says this agreement didn't involve product endorsements, he said. So
right.
whether or not he's have anything to do with endorsements, pretty much they're ending their relationship with it. So whatever they did have is pretty much cut off right now.
Well, you know, it makes me think of, like, believe it or not, it makes me think of the biblical story, the Tower of Babel. Why does it do that? Because if you remember, they were building a tower to get closer to God.
Yeah.
And they're building a temple.
But they were doing it because they didn't want to get drowned in another flood.
Right, exactly. And you think about these people, they're building these towers of self-importance. You had the Paula Deen affair, that's crumbling. This is crumbling. It goes to, and just like the Tower of Babel was destroyed, this kind of behavior, you know, you remember what was going on in Babylon. It was all this horrible shit going on, all the sin, homosexuality, who knows what was going on there. Rape, murder, you know, killing. It's the same shit. I think the Tower of Babel is a perfect analogy for what's going on today on a personal level. That a person builds these towers of self-importance. You know, based on a football career, they get all this money, they get all this endorsement. That in itself is a tower, isn't it? Think about it.
I guess when you
it's
think
a
about
franchise.
It, right?
It's a corporation, self-corporation, like Paula Deen, and each one of those things are a brick in the wall of, you know, building their towers. Am I right?
Yeah, and all of a sudden
on a
just
spiritual level.
Yeah,
I'm
but I guess on a serious note, you know, talking about he was caught. Whatever, I was just reading what it's talking about cough. That's not yet. But anyway, talking about moving on to something that might talking about crashing into something, you know, like that tower.
Crashing down.
Yeah, like here's something in NASCAR. Ty Dillon overtook Kyle Busch with 26 laps remaining and went on to win the NASCAR Truck Series race last night, Thursday night on Kentucky Speedway. Dillon, who's the grandson of team owner Richard Childress, started 22nd place and drove the Chevy, with iconic number 3 made famous by 7-time Sprint Cup champion Dale Earnhardt Sr. through the field for his second career truck victory and first in 4 starts in Kentucky. He also derailed opening bids by defending Sprint Cup Series champion Brad Keselowski and fellow Cup star Busch for a weekend sweep over the 1.5-mile oval. Says Keselowski's overcame mid-race issues to finish second, while Busch edged defending Truck Series champion James Buescher for third. Rookie Ryan Blaney, who started on the pole, had the pole position at the beginning of the race, ended up in 5th place. He finished in 5th place. Wow. And Dillon, Ty Dillon also became Kentucky's youngest truck winner at age 21 years and 4 months old. He's barely 21 years old and he's now the youngest winner of this race. Wow. You're talking about see, it's one thing to drive cars, but man, when you're driving trucks, I mean, could you imagine size of a pickup truck and they're racing on the road? I mean, you thought racing cars was risky. Imagine racing trucks. Yeah, pickup trucks.
You gotta have a lot of balls.
Oh yeah, no doubt about
crazy.
it.
I mean, listen, I've driven trucks. I actually like trucks. I mean, they're not big Mack trucks, but Ram Chargers. They're pretty big, and it gets to a point where it's you're on overload, like in a truck. Like I had a moving truck, and that shit was dangerous for me to drive because it was so huge on the inside, and when you hit a bump and you were bouncing around, it was a 16-foot U-Haul trailer.
Yeah.
And I was driving in the streets in New Jersey that are like this size, and I wound up in roads that the bridge was too low for me to go under.
Yeah.
And I had to back up that shit. Anyway, they're dangerous to drive. Imagine driving it in a drag race.
Oh, yes.
I don't think so.
Yes. Also, I had one story, I guess going to college sports. Former Bulldogs sound off on Ed O'Bannon lawsuit. This is also from the redandblack.com by Alex Shirky. It seems that if everyone has a choice of criticisms directed at the NCAA these days, says in the midst of a potentially landmark Ed O'Bannon lawsuit which seeks damages for the NCAA for profiting off of the likeness of individual players, former athletes are not mincing words when it comes to practices Mark Emmert and company have adopted in recent years. Says that the sales of football jerseys in university bookstores and online, for instance, which uses the numbers of popular or successful athletes at the collegiate level, such as Noshan Marino's number 24, has caused many to question whether the NCAA policies are fair to the players that actually compete and drive the financial profit tied to the games and often fund the university. It says it's such a gray area when you're talking about college athletics because you're talking about amateur sports, but there's a huge billion-dollar business around it as well, says former Georgia quarterback Bill Green said. Says the way the NCAA is getting compensated is sometimes directly off the player. You look at how many people are walking around with number 11 jerseys right now. Aaron Murray, who's the quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs, it's something to consider. Says that the issue O'Bannon and other former players have in several cases focus less on the fact that the players are compensated via scholarships and education and more on the merchandise and marketing profits the NCAA and its member schools earn on an individual player-by-player basis. Says a noted example of this is the NCAA football video game series designed and produced by EA Sports, which uses the likeness of famous college football players such as Darren McFadden and RG3, Robin Griffith III, on its covers. Says virtual quarterbacks are made to have throwing motions and celebrations similar to their real-world counterparts. It says that in the eyes of many, the NCAA is making money on a player's face or number that goes beyond the scope of the scholarship contracts all athletes sign before enrolling in college. Says a popular counter-argument from the ruling ranks of the NCAA says that in regards to player compensation is that college athletics serve as a springboard for players that wish to turn professional. But with no guarantee, however, attached to this positive of college athletics, former players such as Green note that the necessity of examining the issue and evaluating what is objectively fair or unfair to the athletes that put their bodies on the line. And
wow. Okay.
I just want to, something I just forgot about it. I need to let everybody know. Operation Rolling Thunder this weekend.
Oh, yes.
Cops are going to be out in full
Rolling Thunder. For you locals who like to drink and drive, make sure you watch your ass this week.
And definitely buckle up,
Yeah.
or else it's
behind the bar.
Don't drop that soap.
You may
Yep.
have Aaron Hernandez as a
as a cellmate. Yes.
Well, yeah, thank you for
EY.
that. Thank you for that. And before we go today, we're going to have a Daily Bread, of course, and I just want to make mention, you guys are going to be blown away by how all our stories that we talked about, most of them, especially today, is going to make a lot of sense to you guys with the Daily Bread. God's word never comes back void, as I always say.
Okay.
And it comes at an opportune time. What's up?
Well, yeah, I wanted to know if whether or not you wanted to go to the.
going to the Daily Bread. Remember?
Yeah,
Let's do Daily Bread. Okay, great.
Yes, of course.
Daily Bread today for June 28th, 2013, written by David C. McClaslin, is Miserable Success. In whatever a man does without God, he must fail miserably or succeed more miserably, wrote George MacDonald, 1824 to 1905, a Scottish novelist, poet, and Christian minister. This intriguing statement is often cited by modern speakers and writers and appears in MacDonald's book, Unspoken Sermons. MacDonald was dealing with a difficult subject of a Christian self-denial and how we are to apply this teaching of Christ. If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. Luke 9:23 to 24. Rather than merely trying to suppress our natural desires, MacDonald said, that true self-denial means we must see things as Christ saw them, regard them as he regarded them. We must take the will of God as the very life of our being. We are no more to think, what should I do or like to do? But what would the living one have me do? Or what would Jesus do? Is what most people are using today. Getting away from what we want is succeeding miserably. True success is found losing our lives to Jesus' sake and finding them again full and free of his will. More like the Master I will give and grow. More of his love to others I will show. More self-denial like in his Galilee. More like the Master I long to ever be. Gabriel. The spirit of humility and self-denial precedes a deeper and closer walk to God. And the Bible read is in Luke 9:18 to 27. If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Now here's the thing about this, folks. And a lot of people say, oh, am I going to be brainwashed? No. What it is look, if guys like Eric Hernandez would have been grateful for what he had, the $40 million contract, the people looking up to him, the people respecting him, if he would have saw that as a gift, other than entitlement, like, yeah, I deserved it, I worked hard, I did this, I did that. If people get away from that self-importance attitude, is really what he's talking about. God says, give me everything you have and I'll give it right back to you. Because in a sense, all you're doing is trying to be good to people, trying to use it for the benefit of others, trying to help others. That's why if you look at those that have succeeded, that's what they've done. They've given back. And that's really what he's saying. It's got to be a part of who you are. That you do it for somebody else, really. Whether it's God or other people, it doesn't really matter.
That's very true. Because speaking of which, though, as Ed said, is Rolling Thunder this weekend. You know why? Because this is basically, even though this is the last Friday of June, the 4th of July is not going to be falling on a weekend. It's going to be falling on a Thursday. Which means that this is basically the quote-unquote 4th of July weekend now, preceding the holiday.
And
so that means,
with that in thought, if you want to really help others, let's start there then. Let's start there for a moment and gel these two stories together. If you want to start there, where you say, what does this week have to do with and the possibility and Rolling Thunder and all that I have to do with this story that I just read, miserable success. Don't get in the car and drive just because you have one. That is a benefit that you're not even aware of. I wish I had a car. I ain't got one. That's one of my other problems.
And I'm just glad mine's working.
And you're glad yours is working. That's a benefit. Be grateful for it, and don't use it as, you don't let your success become miserable and self-importance, like going out getting drunk. And I can get drunk and I'll just get myself home real quick in my car attitude. Don't let that happen to you.
Yeah, so definitely, like I said,
it costs a lot, exactly.
Which actually brings us to our word of the day of word origins. And our word for today is basically booze.
Booze?
Nah. No, not those booze. No, not that booze. No. Just
there you go.
Booze.
Remind these people.
Those booze. Yeah.
There we go.
Booze. B-O-O-Z-E.
Speaking of DUIs.
Yeah, speaking of DUIs, yes. This word seemed to have been borrowed on two distinct and widely separate occasions from Middle Dutch busen, B-U-S-E-N, drink much alcohol, which some have connected with Middle High German Bus, B-U-S, swelling, which is kind of weird because busen, B-U-S-E-N, is a German word for boobs, but that's a whole other story. In the 13th century, this gave Middle English Bous, B-O-U-S-E, which it had been continued to the present day, would have rhymed with the verb house. However, in the 16th century, the Middle Dutch word was reborrowed, giving modern English booze. Now that's something you don't hear every day. Wow, you learn something new every day. How about that? And who said it first? Down memory lane. It says, like some other expressions in vernacular use, down memory lane seems to have risen from a song. In 1924, songwriters Buddy D. Silva, Con Conrad, and Larry Spire provided the song Memory Lane for the Broadway show Betty Lee, starring comedian Joey Brown. That song was popular and surfaced again in high-profile company and as a sometime theme for the Voice of Firestone radio show, which ran from about 1938 to 1956. It was also a feature song in the Abbott and Costello movie In Society back in 1944. Gradually, the song title seemed to morph quite naturally into Down Memory Lane and appeared thus as the title of a collection of Mack Sennett comedy movies back in 1949.
Yeah.
So that is Who Said It First, Down Memory Lane.
Yeah. It's still kind of eerie because, in a sense, only because Charles London is saying, we used to do the random wordsmith, and we're not doing it anymore. We kind of have the word ready. It's really more for time because it took some time to go back and forth and then go find the word.
It's still random.
And it's still random.
Still picked randomly. It's just, we pick, they're all randomly picked. They're not just picked for the words.
But what's funny is, randomly speaking, somehow this all worked out. We have the DUI, Thunder, Rolling Thunder. Our Daily Bread is talking about miserable success, which comes from taking responsibility for it.
Yeah, and people not appreciating what they have, like Aaron Hernandez, $40 million, and losing the deal for Puma.
He's probably drunk when he shot up that guy. That guy liked to go out and drink in bars,
Yeah, but speaking of, I got two more sort of good stories. I guess it's something 4th of July-ish, something. There was about...
Who said that first?
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Oh.
Yeah, down memory lane, remember? That was 5 minutes ago, see? Yeah. Here's something from Red Black again.
Down memory lane.
Yes. Finishing the meal, the football shows off his grilling skills. In the midst of preparing for the 2013 college football season coming up in a few months, the Georgia Bulldogs took a break from tackling each other to tackle chicken on the grill. The team's first ever offense versus defense grill-off put an entertaining twist on Wednesday's practice 2 days ago, as the players participated in a friendly competition that taught food safety and preparation skills. Several members of the offensive and defensive units were pitted against each other and prepared a meal on the grill that was tasted by 3 judges. The team offense was led by offensive lineman Canarius Gates, and team defense was led by out linebacker James DeLoach. Before the competition, the teams were placed in separate rooms to discuss their game plans as they would do before a football game, and went over basic food preparation preparation rules such as how to handle raw meat and the proper cooking temperatures. Both were given an expected menu: chicken, corn, vegetables, and pineapples. And captains decided on how the team would cook what and how. So that had been a wonderful.
Wow.
That's a nice way to celebrate having a nice cookout. I mean, hopefully you guys will probably have a cookout this weekend since 4th of July is not going to fall on a Friday or Saturday.
Exactly. And if you get too fat, here's a remedy story that would help you lose weight. And it's a tapeworm diet. Believe it or not, folks, here's a diet where you ingest yourself with tapeworms. And then they say that, exactly, they say afterwards you shit them out. Don't worry. But there's a way of eating them and then getting rid of them. Mm-hmm. And it says a tapeworm diet sounds insane and disgusting, right? Well, after this article, you will understand how this diet actually works. And theories behind the results, and maybe even consider a tapeworm or two in your stomach. Many years ago, before modernization, that we have become accustomed to today, it was common for the human body to have a variety of worms. Diet, hygiene, and other lifestyle changes have meant that most, if not all, worms in the body have been removed, or in developed nations here with all that Captain Crunch,
or Commander Crunch, as you might say.
They probably got so high they killed each other.
Wow. But speaking of nasty,
wait, before we get there.
Oh, okay.
Some believe that our bodies have not evolved to the point where it is accustomed to being free of worm. Consequently, our bodies are still undergoing a process for looking for worms that our bodies inhabited for so many years. But they're not there now, so what does that mean? This means the body becomes more sensitive to other foreign material, creating an immune system imbalance. This immune system imbalance is responsible for conditions that are currently rife in our society, for example, in the common form of allergies, such as psoriasis, hay fever, etc. And anyway, they say you can ingest them by a pill now, and they become alive, and maybe somebody will consider to put tapeworms in their system. Okay. And it helps, but here are the side effects: abdominal pain, weakness, headache, nausea, diarrhea, constipation, and bloating. Sounds like every common diet pill.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Ugh.
Well, and how do you get them out of the body? And by the way, there is a warning. It poses a threat to the human body in addition to potential side effects: bloating while dying is affecting a pot belly appearance. So anybody that you see with a big pot belly, they probably have tapeworms.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Speaking of nasty,
just to let you know,
there's some stuff from Universal says that 50 Shades of Grey gets a release date and movie cast rumors loom.
Okay, wait.
That'll give you
CNN says we still don't know who will play Christian Grey and Anastasia Steele, but Universal's putting 50 Shades of Grey down on the calendar anyway. Based on the controversial books, the studio announced Thursday that a global release of the eagerly anticipated adaptation of E.L. James's novel will kick off North America on August 1st, 2014, next summer. So Sam Taylor Johnson has been tapped to direct the project, which have a script written by Kelly Marcel, with 50 Shades just being the entry point to the James trilogy, which details increasingly explicit relationship between 27-year-old billionaire Grey and naive college student Steele. Marcel's hinted in the past that her script won't be PG fair. Says, according to Entertainment Weekly, it said it will be raunchy. It may be rated NC-17, so it's beyond R. So if you ain't 17, you ain't getting in.
You know, there's 50 Shades of Green shit, whatever.
Gray, 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, gray, sorry. My favorite color is green. This 50 Shades of Green is like a tapeworm in society right now. It's eating up everybody's interest. And then the weight of anything intelligent, it's all sexual shit, is going like a tapeworm eating at society. How's that? That's how it's energized. Who gives a shit about 50 Shades of Grey? Only a bunch of horny old women and cougars.
Yeah. Well, it's 81 degrees right now, 11:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time in Macon, Georgia. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad of a show, I have to say. On behalf of Irv and Ed, want to say
That's an honor of you.
thank you. And I just want to say thank to all of our guests, DS Photo Guy, Rosalind Nicole, Plastic Canvas, Acid DJ, D's Nuts for You.
Yeah, baby.
Funky Dillo, Here Forever, Mr. 9909, Obama's Cat, Prankomania Pranks, Vorpal by Fancy Fanny, Taro London, Vapes versus Cards. Excuse me. And Saibuki, who was here earlier today. Want to thank you for checking us out this whole week. You have a great weekend. Watch out for Rolling Thunder. Who those are in the Macon, Georgia area. Watch out for that. As I said, it's 81 degrees. It's going to be a high of 94 and a low of 73. So be a best friend to your refrigerator, your freezer, your
and no road rage or
air
don't
conditioning.
get drunk.
Yes, definitely. That's true.
Have
Tower.
some money extra for a cab.
That's right, Tower. Yeah, definitely watch out for Slim. Yeah, use your Slim Sims card if you can. Take care. We'll see you Monday. And remember, can you smell what the roast is brewing?
See you Monday.
Excuse me.
That was a coffee.
You're making me